You're such an asshole.
So we got a request from our East Indian agent in the field. I had it. Hey, here we go. Rashil sent this. He said, "Dear Clary, could you react and review to Wrestling with Gaming's video about the making of Superman 64?" I say, "You want a live reaction? Just watch a review." He said, "Watch and review." And Rashil's been very patient. I've been, I don't know, Christmas and Thanksgiving or New Year's and all that. So I did watch it. I have it linked below. And once they started talking about it, I'm like, oh, I remember this thing because it had the rings. And somebody else, I watched a video about, I think it was like the worst video game ever. And basically, it's a late 90s game. It's Superman. This was right when Batman, the original animated series, was starting to switch over to the Justice League, and Superman was with Warner Brothers and all that. Anyway, so it was the right time to do it. And turns out it was just this horrible game. The controls were ass, and all you did was fly through rings. And I think it was, if I recall the review of the game itself, it was absolutely punishing. So if you didn't get through all the rings in the right time and so maybe it was grade A, under A, he was talking about how you get through it. And then the next mission, you think, okay, now you're going to run around Metropolis City. And the next mission is more rings. And it may be the worst reviewed game of all time. So let me kind of read a little bit. I got the, let me go through the basics here. Superman. The new Superman Adventures, commonly referred to as Superman 64, 1999 action-adventure game developed and published by Titus Interactive for the Nintendo 64. It is based on the television series Superman, the animated series, as the first 3D game featuring Superman. Development began in 1997, was largely hindered by constraints between Titus, that's the software developer, and the game's licensors, Warner Brothers and DC Comics, leaving little room to refine the gameplay. Had expired with 3 E3 presentations. That's when that was a big thing. In positive press coverage prior to its release, Superman 64 achieved strong sales and favorable consumer reception. However, critical reviews remain extremely negative, criticizing its unresponsive controls, technical flaws, repetitive gameplay, overuse of distance fog, and poor graphics. It is widely regarded as one of the worst video games ever. And that was one thing when I was listening to that video, is it actually made a profit. Of course, video games back then didn't cost $250 million to make. But the hype was so big for that. And they screwed it up. They screwed it up. Now, listening to the video, it was a classic case of big corporals getting in the way of the nerds. Let me explain again to you MBAs and all you business leaders. You are not leaders. You are not smart. You're not creative. You are good You're good at obeying. You're good at conforming. That you need to stay in that role and manage bureaucracy and manage large organizations. But when it comes to creation and creativity and innovation, you need to get the fuck out of the way. Let the nerds do their job and looking at you, Bob Iger, and not take credit for it. Right? You're a little conformist bitch. You guys obey super good. And you do thing popular. Not the right thing, not the smart. You do popular thing. Go do that. Take the money, give it to some intelligent people, and then get the fuck out of the way. Turns out Warner Brothers did not get the fuck out of the way. Now, a lot of it was when, let me get the guy's name. Eric. Gameplay development. Eric Kane. One of the founders of the French developer Titus Interactive, right? So he approached Warner Brothers. He was excited about it. And he says, I want to make the video game for you. With some convincing, he got him convinced. And he said, cool. So once he got the license, I think the very next day or a very short period of time thereafter, Warner Brothers went through a reorg or whatever. They fired all the people that Eric was working with. The new people came in, and according to Eric Kane, they were horrible. They wanted nothing to do with it. According to Eric, and you might want to listen to the video, because you're like, why would corporations do this? Why they would purposely drag their feet and constantly change requirements. And even MBAs, who are pretty fucking stupid, even they are smart enough to know, well, that's going to delay it. So they were almost doing it on purpose. And honestly, I kind of seeing the shit product, I could see it. Say, Cappy, why would they do that? I don't know. Why does Kathleen Kennedy keep making feminist propagandist horse shit? Do not question the ways of the MBAs, for they know not what they do. But having worked in corporate America, I could totally see it. You got to understand, corporate America is middle school for adults. All right. Petty, little rich bitch adults. That's what corporate America is for. And so instead of working together and getting out of his way and letting him have the creative license, they were on his ass all the time. Obviously, that grounded development to a halt, and they had to come up with something. Now, there was this guy wasn't squeaky clean either. He was, where is it? It was in the video. Basically, he was over promising what the video game was. He wanted to get the big hype for it. I guess he made his money. I guess according to the contract. I mean, by that time, you're like, look, you're going to hamstring me. Okay, I'm going to sell it anyway and make my money. And it came out, and man, could you imagine? You're all excited and hyped for that, and it turns out to be shit. And then it didn't flop. It did make money, but the reviews are horrible. 23%, 1 star, 55%. Well, mega fun, man. A lot of these websites aren't around anymore. 21%, 49%, 4.7 out of 10. 1 of 5 stars, 14%, 9%, 9 out of 20, 3.4 out of 10, 10%, 1.3 out of 10, an F, 1.25 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 8 out of 40. Okay. Too easy, hardcore gaming. They're just going through all the different people, what they said about it. Distance fog. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about the video that encapsulated and synopsisized, summarized the Superman 64 game. It just, but I do remember watching the other one, and yeah, it thank God, because that was back in the day. Then what did you GoldenEye? That's what the kids after me who went to college enjoyed, was GoldenEye. Thankfully, video games were still good back then. That was right around PlayStation 2. Things were good. Yeah, you're gonna have shit games come out. But yeah, I don't know. The games you're having now, they got bugs. They always fix it up with patches, but the games are not as bad, like purposely that bad, where nothing went into it. Concord, I guess it was a functional game. Like Sony made sure of that. They just had politics. It's too bad you had great punch. Too bad you put a turd in it. This just looked like a game that was shit. Guaranteed to be shit. And not that the guy didn't try, but I'm sure with what free time he had to actually put forth towards finishing the game, it looked like just a horrible. I was trying to remember. I was a little bit of a kid. I couldn't remember E.T. the video game on Atari. I guess that was a really bad video game. I just never understood it, probably because it was poorly programmed. Like I couldn't figure out. You didn't even know how to conquer the game. It was very, very odd. And I'm wondering if they ever fixed it. But I'm trying to remember a game. There must have been games out there where they were such ass. But certainly not one attached with an IP like Superman at the peak of height of popularity with Justice League. All right. Don't know what else to say. I got a super chat. Rashiel, hey, I'm currently playing Mega Man 11. Is that like a re-release where they consolidated all? Mega Man 11. Is that for what platform? Oh, you're on Steam. Newest entry, iconic series, challenging 2D platform. Nintendo Switch. I don't blame you, man. Those games are good. Pretty simple. Upgrade your weapons, go against different types of Mega Men. You got the dog in that one. All right, there you guys go. Cappy gonna go to the gym again. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.